Good Friday afternoon, evening, wherever you might be. It's Friday.
Yeah.
Day before Saturday. 2 days before Monday.
It's a good day.
It's a good day. How you doing, Victor? Good week?
Still alive. Yeah, good week. Busy.
I just realized as the countdown was going, it's like, I didn't make my tea. So I ran out really fast and made my tea. So it's going to be sitting here steeping for the next, 10 minutes. And I don't know how long you're supposed to steep tea. I just like it. I don't drink coffee, so I drink tea.
I don't drink tea, so I don't know.
But you drink coffee.
I do drink coffee, yes.
So between the two of us, we're good to go.
Yeah.
Hi, by the way. Yeah. My name's Darren. This over here is Victor, and we're the host of a podcast called DevOps Paradox that releases on Wednesdays at 6 a.m. Eastern. And on Fridays, we do this show when we're around. We were doing the math the other day. You've got 30 talks scheduled for the year currently.
Give or take, yeah.
Give or take. Are you going to be adding more to that?
I mean, the plan was not to add those 30 either. Just things happen,
Yeah. Karen, good to see you. Tea Earl Grey hot. Nice Picard reference there. I appreciate it. No, this is actually a blood pressure blend. What's in it? I don't remember. It's a long list of things. It seems to be helping. So we'll see. As we'll see later today, there was a part of things that we're going to take a look at. We were going to take a look at StratoShark this week. I waved that off in favor of something else. We'll get to it later. But that something else caused some blood pressure problems this week because it got very annoying. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, let's go ahead and just get into it so we can get to said thing. This week's podcast, we had our 300th episode. And we had Patrick on, just like we do for any of the Divide by 50s. If you don't get the Divide by 50, it's just a whole number. So he wasn't on episode 0. He was on episode 50, 100, 150. And this wasn't planned. We just happened to have Patrick on the 50 and went, oh, okay, we'll keep doing this. Now, who would have thought almost 6 years later we're still doing it? And I took the opportunity to completely, what's the right word for this?
If I knew what you would like to say, I'll find the word.
It's I was trying to take advantage of what is going on in the world in a nice way. How to become an AI native engineer. I was basically keyword stuffing the whole title just to...
There we go.
That's not the phrase I was looking for, but anyway. If you listen to it, okay, it's not directly 1, 2, 3, but Patrick lays out what you need to be doing. Do you think you or I, Victor, will ever become an AI native engineer?
It's more likely that AI is going to replace us.
Yeah.
Most likely because we will retire by that time.
You think we have that much of a runway? I mean, I know you have that much of a runway. Actually, let me think of it this way. I probably have that much of a runway. I'm not sure about you.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it will take some time.
Oh. Anyway. And then next week we have Jonathan Schneider on from Open Rewrite, talking about all things Open Rewrite. So if you're in the Java space, be sure to listen to that. Okay, Victor, you sent me this one, Operator from OpenAI. And you said just to include it. Now, here's why I don't care about it. The only way you get it is if you're paying in the $200 plan. And I'm not going to pay $200 a month.
Right now, I'm more interested in those things finally happening, right? I am not very fond of AI answering my questions, right? I want it to do something for me. Because, hey, tell me how to do something and I will do that something and you might give me a wrong answer. I don't buy it that much. But telling AI do something for me, that's very interesting. And this is like a step in that direction, right? So
it is.
I cannot even try it because it works only for pro users and only in US. And I'm neither pro nor in US. So I cannot try it. I just feel that this is where we should be going.
I want to jump back to Open Rewrite. Legacy Java 8 apps that need to upgrade to Java 23. You can go to Java 23. Here's my 2 cents on that. I would not go to Java 23. I would either wait for Java 25 or just go to Java 21. Stick with the LTS releases because if you're still running every 4 versions now, yeah, that's what they've locked into. So to me, it's like I would not. I wouldn't go to a non-LTS version unless there's something there that you have to have.
Why do Java folks need to make things confusing? If it's every 4 years, it should be Java 20 and 24 and 28. How did it happen that it's every 4 years and then we got Java 21 being LTS?
Look, it would have been nice if it... So who is it? Ubuntu lines up to the years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That would have been nice, right? But no. That's just that's my 2 cents. If you need a feature that's in 23, okay, go ahead and go to 23, but then once 25 is LTS, get to that and then stick on LTSs. I like LTSs, just in general, no matter the language.
Especially if you choose to upgrade your Java or something else every infinite number of years, then your next upgrade is not going to happen anytime soon. So yeah, then you should be on LTS, right?
Yeah, it's just that goes to Go, Python, whatever is considered to be an LTS right now. If they're classifying things as LTSs, I say stick with LTS. Doesn't mean you don't try out the other things, but if I'm making money with it, I'm going LTS.
Unless Java drastically changed, I don't even know anymore which versions I was using back in the day. Jumping so many versions, you should be prepared for a lot of suffering, no matter how much you simplify it with tools, right? Or will it just still work?
So in previous years, the answer would have been yes. With something like Open Rewrite, it makes it a lot less brittle, I think.
Nice.
There's work to be done for sure, and there's still full testing you need to do, yes. But manual versus using Open Rewrite to help you do the thing, it's not as painful as it used to be.
Here's the thing. That person does not have tests.
Yeah,
and you know how I know?
You're rolling dice.
If you have tests, you have no reason not to upgrade.
Right.
All the time.
Right. I agree with that. So anyway, we'll move on. Anyway, Operator, if you have the spare $200, do that. But what we're getting ready to look at may help even solve that. So we'll see. This is new but old. I noticed this week Google Cloud and AWS put out official Crow posts. I did not see anything from Azure.
Yeah, I mean, the three of them are together in it, and this is very pleasantly surprising because I don't recall last time early on AWS, Google, and Azure were together on something.
Yeah. In fact, in the post from Google Cloud, they even said, we're thrilled to announce the collaboration between Google Cloud, AWS, and Azure on Crow.
Yeah.
So again, I saw posts from Google Cloud. Within the hour, there was one from AWS. And I kept looking for Azure and never found it. So I don't know if they posted anything or not. And I haven't followed up today. But Crow, in case you're not aware of it, crow.run. What is it, Victor? Because you've talked about it. You've done a video about it. What are we supposed to do with it? By the way, Crow, it's an upper H on GitHub.
It's early stage project that has similar objectives like crossplane compositions. Create an API, and then whenever somebody creates a resource based on that API, expand it or compose resources based on it, right? Users use higher level APIs, and from those higher levels, you compose lower level components.
That's basically it. So now I guess it's official. I guess it's Facebook official now. That they both have posted. Again, I didn't check Azure, but because I went back. You've done videos about it. We actually talked about it back in November. Mm-hmm. So it's been 3 months roughly. Actually, it was announced at KubeCon, right? That was its coming out party.
I believe so. Yes, exactly.
I mean, I think people talked about it, but that was the first big announcement, and now this next wave is happening. It seems interesting to me, but it's not really what I'm doing, so I'm not that interested in it, if that makes sense. It's not my day-to-day thing. So, I mean, yeah, sure. To me, the big thing is all three of them working together on it. That's the big thing to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. This tool came out this week from Google Cloud Platform. Did you see this? Kubernetes History Inspector?
No, what is it?
It's a transformative log viewer for Kubernetes. No idea what that means. Okay.
I don't know what it means either.
It says,
I hope you're going to tell me.
well, you're going to read it along with me. KHI transformed vast quantities of logs into interactive, comprehensive timeline views. It makes an invaluable tool for troubleshooting complex issues that span multiple components within your Kubernetes clusters. So I guess it shows you timelines of things changing, I guess. Sure, why not?
Okay. I don't know. It feels like Elasticsearch, and I'm using Elasticsearch as example, like wherever you ship your logs, but with some maybe nicer graphical representation of it.
But I don't think
Looks
you're
like
doing...
from 80s though.
well... all things old are new again.
Yeah, I need to try it out. You know, my main gripe with those things is whether they're going directly to Kubernetes when on demand or storing it somewhere. Because if you're going directly to Kubernetes, it's just too slow, right? The API is not designed for those things. So I'm curious to see where are those logs stored and then from where it fetches it to get that information.
Here's maybe a partial answer. KHI intentionally loads a massive amount of logs into memory. This enables users to... So basically, it's going to slurp everything into memory, and then you slice it in memory.
Come on. I mean, you know, that's why we have Elastic and other Loki and whatever tools.
Right.
We already have tools that allow you to store logs and serve them very, very fast. I'm not necessarily interested in that. I'm interested more in how it represents them.
Yeah, it says it uses your existing logs, so you don't need to install anything extra. Makes it easier, saves time. Furthermore, you can use KHI to troubleshoot even past issues as long as the logs are still available in your backend.
Yeah, okay. So it's going directly to Kube API. Most likely, yeah. Okay.
I mean,
I'll try it out.
It's from Google Cloud Platform. Now, here's the other thing that was interesting, because I saw some other people talking about this. Where was it? It was down here. So Kubernetes clusters. So GKE, Cloud Composer, okay, whatever. GKE on AWS and GKE on Azure. And some people were saying, I had no idea you could run GKE on AWS or Azure.
Why would you?
Why would you run EKS on GCP?
Yeah, I don't see a reason. I mean, because basically, one of the main reasons you want GKE is because it's managed by Google. That's the first reason, right? I want the Kubernetes. It doesn't have to be for everybody, right? Different people, different needs. But you start looking into those things when you want something managed by somebody else. In this case, Google. So if I get GKE to run it by myself on AWS, I'm definitely going to choose EKS. Doesn't matter which one is better versus, from feature perspective.
Okay, I clicked through. GKE on AWS is a managed service that helps you provision, operate, and scale Kubernetes clusters in your AWS account.
Oh, managed.
Managed.
What the heck? Now the world is going crazy. Are you telling me that Google is going to manage my clusters in AWS?
And Azure.
And Azure. That's mind-blowing. That's absolutely mind-blowing. I cannot even start comprehending how they're going to give me SLAs and support on something they don't control. But if that's the case, yes. I still don't think that anybody's going to use it, but it's impressive.
It's been out there for over 3 years. It was released in November of 2021.
Is that Anthos thingy?
It's Anthos, yeah.
It's Anthos. Okay, yeah. I think that one is slowly dying.
Okay. You can now launch clusters and, they're keeping it maintained, I guess, if you want to think about it. But I
buy the story of GKE on Google Cloud and on-prem or EKS on AWS and on-prem. I see the value in that immediately. I don't buy it when on other providers.
Yeah, but
Nothing against GK. I think it's the best service over there, just to be clear.
But I'd have to argue that AWS and Azure are just on-prem for me.
Say again?
I would have to argue that I'd have to argue that AWS and Azure are just on-premise solutions for me.
Right?
In other words, I
run-
treat them as on-premise. Like I treat them just like a data center.
Yeah. But, simply the ability, I will always give money. I would always rather give money to AWS to run EKS than to give Google to run GK on AWS. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. Anyway, it also works for the other bare metal and VMware too. So,
Yeah.
interesting. Anyway,
Those make much more sense.
Yeah. KHI. One other tool is Cedar Access Control for Kubernetes.
Mm-hmm.
You've done some stuff on Cedar. It's not your favorite, right? But it's okay.
No.
Okay. But here's what it is. This project allows users to enforce blah, blah, blah requests using Cedar policies. Then you can dynamically create authorization policies for Kubernetes that support features like request or user attribute, whatever, all the things.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of writing your RBAC policies like that, now you can write them to look like that. Well, that's Rego, I guess.
Can you make it just... This is what always surprised me in documentation. Can you make it smaller so that both examples fit on a screen?
Yeah, hang on.
Okay. Now, dear people having projects, when you put two examples, this is what you're doing right now, this is what you should be doing. Shouldn't you find an example that is actually more appealing? Just by looking at this, Darin, which one do you choose? Which one is easier for you?
I'm going to pick YAML every day.
No, does not have to be every day, just to be clear. No.
At this moment, yes, I'm going to pick YAML.
Yeah, I mean, in this example, I'm saying there are very, very good reasons not to use YAML in certain cases and scenarios. So I'm not pro YAML for life. I'm just saying, when I look at this, I lose desire to continue. Because I don't see why would I switch from the top to the bottom.
I'm going to add one more thing. You're talking about writing documentation. If this is a project about using Cedar to do this, where's my Cedar example? That makes it even better. Right? You show me YAML, you show me Rego, but you don't show me the Cedar comparable.
Yeah.
Which is what I would expect.
To be clear, I haven't used this project. I don't know. Maybe it's awesome, amazing. I'm not saying anything bad about the project. I was just saying make a better example. Motivation should be, you were doing this. This is so much better.
Yeah. Now, let me see here. Secret creators.
Yeah.
So this is not this. So.
No. This
right.
is.
I was just trying to make sure that they didn't start with theirs and then lead down to that, but they didn't. So anyway. And there is a video for it as well. Links for everything is already down below the video today. So if you want to go check it out afterwards, you can do that. So they explain it. I didn't watch it because, again, not my day-to-day thing. But why would you not use... Okay, let me ask this question. Would you use Cedar over Rego today?
I'm not fond of either.
But if you had to...
Such a complex...
If you had to use one of them, you would choose Rego today because of flexibility?
And also adoption, right? Kind of.
Yeah.
I very often use things that are not widely adopted, relatively new and stuff like that. But then I need to be very, very well motivated. This is new. This is changing something, right? Which this might be happening here. So I don't know. I'm not. Between Rego and this, without any additional information, Rego.
Yeah. And this is from AWS Labs. So again, not meant to be production yet. They even go into that below of, even though Cedar is production level, this is not. So, okay. Anyway, that's that. Your video this week was policies with Kubernetes validating.
Yeah, basically, I had a rant about the differences, Where do you apply policies, and where do you just make UX better? Because those things are not the same, right? And I will remove Kubernetes from this conversation, right? I have a strong opinion that policies should be applied in one place, whatever that one place is. And it needs to be done in a way that no matter how you get to wherever you're going, you need to go through that place. I remember back in the day when people would be creating some kind of validations policies in Jenkins, in Visual Studio Code, in CLI, in 50 different places, or even better, when people say, oh, I put policies in this tool, and because of my inability to put them anywhere else, nobody's allowed to use my system without using this tool, which is silly, right? So policies, one place, server side always.
So that was over on DevOps Toolkit this week.
Yeah.
You also had a live stream yesterday. You're back in that rhythm now.
Yeah, until we stop getting questions. And then we'll pause until people get
caught up.
Start missing us, yeah.
Okay. So here is the tool for this week. It is called Goose. Goose. It's from the people at Block. It's an open source project. Open source meaning, let's see, what is it? I forgot the license on it. It's Apache 2. Okay, good. Your on-machine AI agent automating engineering tasks seamlessly. What does that mean? I don't know. So we're actually going to do it. I have the CLI installed. I also have the UI installed. We're going to look at the UI today. Mm-hmm. Fair warning. I was early adopter and tried to set it up with Ollama so I wouldn't have to pay any money out to models. It didn't work with the initial release versions. The newest version came out overnight my time, so I've uploaded them or updated them here, but I haven't tested Ollama, so we're just going to go against OpenAI. But I'll show you how to do all that configuration. If you go under Quick Start, this is what I would recommend. Go under Quick Start first, get your CLI installed. Right now the desktop is only Mac OS, so Windows and Linux, sorry. So with the CLI, you go through and set up which model provider you want to use and which model you want to use within that provider. So you can only use one model at a time. Sort of makes sense. I mean, that's typical. Yeah. And let's see here. Then you start the session. If you're on the CLI, your desktop, it just automatically does a session for you. It just creates it for you. And then we'll write a prompt. Okay. So let me go ahead and stop sharing here. I'll get to the right screen in just a moment. And I'm going to present my full screen. I'm going to do that one. Okay, here we go. So we write the prompt. So let me go ahead and do this. I'll take you through the UI here real quick. Now, notice I left it white. That's sort of on purpose. This is a Electron app. So you can do the typical, size it up however you want to do it. So we'll do it right about there. Ellipsis in the upper right-hand corner, dark mode. Okay, now we're good to go. So there's settings. We can open a directory or create a new session. We're just going to stay here for now. Now, if you look at the bottom, you can say where you're working. So you can pick a directory where you want to be, and then you pick your model. By default, in the GUI, it picks OpenAI GPT-4o. Now, I've already set up my key on here, so it already has the key set up. That's just how I did it. If you go under Tools and Settings, you can get there. The other way to get Tools and Settings is under the top. That's the exact same thing. So you can browse models, even though it's not very helpful. So I can search models. So I can say GPT-4o Mini, right? So I could pick that one. I could turn that one on, and it'll swap me over to that model. In fact, I'm going to do that because it's cheaper to use Mini, and we'll see how the results are. So now, if I get out of that, oh, you know what? I have to delete that. That's fine. I don't really care. And then the configure. So then I can pick OpenAI, Anthropic, Databricks, Grok, Google, Ollama, and OpenRouter. Notice there's no Azure right at this point, but that's fine. I said Ollama will work. I just haven't got it figured out yet. And if I take a look here, now we can see that this one is the one selected. If I wanted to go back, I could just go back to here. Right? I can select them that way. See it swapping there. The other thing I can do, get rid of the toasts. I mean, there's some usability here. And the extensions, the developer extension's on by default. The other three are off by default. I haven't messed with those at all. I'll buy stale mini. Okay, here we go.
Integration with JetBrains, but not VS Code.
Well, okay, so let me go back to that. I wonder if that is... Oh, integrate, yeah. But I think that was new since the first release.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't require environment variables. Okay, and last little bit here, if you've already selected some models, then you can swap between models here too, so you don't have to go back into that setting. All right, what can you do? So notice we haven't talked about DeepSeek up until this point. There is documentation in the, I think it's in Getting Started. Let me find it real quick. Because configuring an LLM provider, if I go down to a llama, that's not what I wanted. Sorry to blind everybody. If we go here, download or run a model first, it says Goose extensively uses tool calling, so models without it, DeepSeek R1, can only do chat completion if using models. So this is the reason why it doesn't even matter. So Quinn 2.5 is the default model for Ollama when it starts up, or is supposed to be. Again, I haven't got that one working yet. Okay, so here's what it can do. I'm a general purpose AI agent that can be capable of a variety of tasks, particularly involve coding and development. So this goes back to what you were talking about earlier, Victor. It's like, I don't want answers. I want something to do something for me.
Yeah.
Right? So what can Goose help with? All right, so let's go ahead and go back to, let's see, how do I get back to, you can also do attachments, which I'm not going to do. Visual debugging, shell command, okay, so this is what I did earlier. So I can do shell command execution. So let me do this.
Directly from this desktop up, or?
Yeah, so I can say, what are the files in my downloads directory? Okay, it's saying, do you want to access it? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are the two files that are in my downloads directory.
Okay.
So I didn't have to leave this UI or the CLI, depending on what you wanted to do.
Yeah. I guess CLI is the same, just Goose or some, Goose controller or whatever the CLI is, and then ask a question.
Yeah, I can pull that up if we want to after that. So dynamic extension loading, okay, they can do whatever, and visual debugging. I can capture screenshots of your displays or specific windows for visual analysis. All those features not currently active. So that's where they're heading. So I want to go back to, I want to do a new session just because I want to go to...
And it's context aware, I'm guessing, right?
It is context aware. Yeah. That was the one thing about DeepSeek where it shows the think, like the reasoning models are pretty cool. But anyway, so I just created a new session, got rid of the old one. So demo reading and writing files. I have not run this one at all. So let's do this. And just see what it does. So it's going to, I successfully wrote to a file named demo text within the context. I then read the context and returned it to the same time. If you have further questions, let me know. Okay, so if I take a look at the output.
Does it show you the commands that they executed or command view? Okay.
Let's see. There's the file text. It tells me where it did it. So that's it.
Okay, so it doesn't, because those are not real commands over there, right?
No, it didn't show me the commands. Just a write. So, but you think about it, it says it uses tools. So it's based on where it's at, it's going to do whatever the right tool is for where it is. Like on Mac and Linux, I'd probably do one thing, whereas on Windows, I would do something different. But the bottom line is I don't care about the commands. I mean, I would care about the commands, but in my case, I don't care about it right now. All right, so let me do...
Because, so here's a question, right?
Yep.
When is that more useful than cut? If you executed cut? And
Right.
I'm guessing if you don't know,
If I don't know,
there is a command cut. Okay.
Yeah, I guess. That's right. So if I say, what are the contents of the data.txt file in my home directory. Does not exist in your home directory. Oh, demo. Sorry, I meant demo.txt. Right?
Okay.
So, all right. Again, not real exciting. Let's open a new session. I'll bring that one over next. Oh, it kept the zoom for me. Good. So I don't have to mess with that. Or list files in my current directory. I don't know that I want to do that. Hang on a second. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. So list files in my current directory. So here it shows the command.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. Okay, so it seems that it's working with commands that are kind of universal, right? Because open is actually different from operating system to operating system.
Correct.
Or not.
So and here's the output. That's everything that's there.
You see, I'm still. This looks cool. So I want AIs to do stuff for us. Zero doubt about that. But here, I have the same gripe like the one I said before. Is why don't you come up with examples of things that happen to be better if I do it with that tool than otherwise, right? Because in my head is still kind of, how is that better than if you type ls?
Right, which is
right?
why
because
we're going to go to the next example.
Infinitely faster ls.
Yeah, for sure.
Faster to type, faster to execute, faster everything.
Yep. So let's look at this.
Make a snake game in a new folder. That's the thing.
Right. So let's do that. So it created snake game in my home directory just because that's where I'm starting, right? I'm working in my home directory.
Mm-hmm.
And now I just wait.
But here's another. I'm like that puppet on a balcony, right? So only complaining. Yeah. I need this in VS Code. I'm not going to go to a different tool to create code and then turn back to VS Code.
I understand.
JetBrains, that's fine. So kind of is it
coming?
JetBrains,
right.
Yes.
Yeah. Is this coming? Then I would have to imagine so. So I've created a folder for the snake game and added the main game code in SnakePy with a requirements text for managing. Here are the details. Blah 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 blah.
Can I assume that the files are there, right?
Well, let's see. What files are in snake game? Yeah.
Okay. Now, tell it, I don't like Python. Change it to choose whatever you want, darling.
Like Python. Rewrite it using Java because I know I have
Sure.
I know I have Java installed on this machine. I still haven't put Go back on here yet. I saved it in the snake game folder. There it is. Okay. Complete implementation with Swing for graphics. Okay. Nice. I need help reading. Okay. Yes. I don't know how to run the program. Tell me how to do it. Okay. So open a terminal. Okay. Well, it's telling me to do all these things.
Run it for me.
That's too much work. Just run it for me. There it is.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Very cool.
I mean, it failed, but it ran until it failed, which is fine. And there's snake game button.
No, it didn't fail. You failed. You were supposed to play it.
I was supposed to play. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. So is this what you're thinking?
Yeah, yes. I mean, that's very similar to what I'm doing in a way with. I mean, I use Copilot with VS Code. I might be switching to different ID not so far from now, but for now, yes.
Okay.
I cannot say which one is better, just to be clear. So whether Goose is better or worse, then I'm guessing that it would be hard. So, if you talk about code now, Goose does probably other things.
I think it does, but that's what it's focused on.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say code.
Yeah.
There are a couple of things that are important there, the way I see it. One is integration with the ID that you're using. It needs to be part of it. I don't want to see a separate application. Doesn't make sense for me, right?
Right.
Then, does it use a generic model or it has its own model? Kind of because maybe with its own model it can do better than others, right? Otherwise, the results are going to be the same if we are all using ChatGPT, right? And also, how well it integrates with the tool, with IDE.
Right. So I'm looking at some of these things here. It's like, see, my sister had been asking me for months to help build a Google Docs extension, but I kept putting it off. We hopped on FaceTime and built one in 30 minutes using Goose.
Nice.
I created a custom CLI command in the GHCLI library to download inline comments on PRs. So give me something that you want. So I've started a brand new session. Give me something sort of like what we do with Snake. Give me something.
Write the program that retrieves and stores my clients into a database.
Actually, here, let me do this. I'll put this up here. So in a new folder into a database. What do you want to write it in?
Use Go.
Only
or
use
Java. Your choice.
Not Go. Actually, I don't have Go installed, so I can't.
Yeah,
okay. Could you read it though and see if it's right?
Huh?
No, that's not. Use Java and use Java for the language and SQLite or SQLite for the database.
Yeah.
You'll be retrieving the client information from a Google Sheet. Right? That would see. This is the story of I'm migrating from using Google Sheets just to a database now.
Yeah. Nice.
Also, write a front end. Oh wait.
In TypeScript.
In TypeScript. Finally, use Spring Boot as the framework to write the backend. Okay. That's a big honking prompt. Client database apps. Okay. But even if this takes 10 minutes, who cares?
Yeah.
Right?
And and most likely you would not really work like that. You would be going step by step, kind of do this, do that, add the database to the mix, write the front end.
Yeah. So, okay. Open this app in VS Code. Let's see if it's smart enough to. Do I even have VS Code on this machine? Yeah, I do.
Now that's the interesting part. Oh, look at it. Yeah.
I mean, I had to bring it over, but who cares? You know,
Yeah, sure.
So there's all the stuff. Client service, client repository. And I'm still stuck having to deal with that, but that's, you know, those are, I didn't give it enough information.
Yeah. Yeah, now you would be iterating over and over and over and over again, right? Kind of,
Yep.
oh, change the schema to this.
Yeah.
Very cool. I mean, you know, I don't think we have time now to go through the full code and validate it and all that stuff.
No. But again, I could, if I decided, you know, this model isn't good enough, we were talking about, you know, finding the right models.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Goose. I'm going to call out a couple other things that I found here. They also have a Discord, which I haven't done a whole lot with. There's some guides that are still new. Oh, the CLI. Let me show you the CLI real quick. Oh, by the way, if you are using Ghosty, there was a new version that came out within the past day or two.
I got the notification to update.
Yeah, I've already got it. Yeah, because I'm running around and doing all the things.
Is it growing up on you, or you just kind of you don't want to bother changing now?
There's still a couple. So there's still a few problems that I'm trying to determine if it's me, if it's the way that I got my ZSH stuff set up. I don't know. I was going to show Goose. So Goose version 103, which is the same as the there. So if I just say Goose, so there's Goose configure. So we were talking about, and we saw this in the doc. So if I say Goose configure, I configure providers, extensions, add extensions, blah, blah, blah. So I go to configure providers. I could switch from OpenAI. It's already set. I don't put it in my keyring. I haven't dug into that. It's like, no, I don't need it in the keyring. And there's the default model. So if I do that, I'm curious to see what happens if this configuration is different than the. So if I close Goose there and reopen it. Yeah, those are different configurations because I've got a configuration. It's interesting. I pull it over here and it keeps the memory. The GUI still remembers its own configuration. So I don't know if I like that or not. They're two completely separate things.
Okay, oh, that's bad.
It feels, because that seems like I could go sideways pretty quick on that.
Yeah, because I feel that you might want to go to. You're probably, if you end up using it, you're probably going to use both, right?
It's a good
Sometimes
chance.
CLI is more convenient, but then you want kind of easier something and go to the desktop.
So you have configure MCP session run. So you can pass in commands from a file. Because, you know, this is automation, right? I want to automate this too. List of agents. So if I say Goose agents, right now the only agent is truncate, or agents are truncate and reference, whatever those are. So if we look at, I don't either. Let's see. There's also this Goose hints. Oh, that's the developer, which we do have turned on. Maybe hints is, let me slow down. A text file to use, provide additional context about your project and improve communication with Goose. Okay, so that's your user prompt, I guess, if you're thinking system and user prompts. Rate limits, sure. File management. Okay, nothing jumps out at me there. Building custom extensions. You have an MCP server, so model context protocol. It adheres to whatever that is. I haven't dug into MCP. Commands, version agents, runs an enabled MCP. It says like Google Drive. I don't understand what that is. I'll have to dig into that some more. Sessions, if you want to start up a new session or load a new session, whatever. You can run instructions, text, name the session, resume. Okay. The architecture overview goes into all the things. So the Goose architecture is interface. Okay, pick the two interfaces. You have agents and extensions.
Yeah.
There's the loop. Okay, there we go. We're handling troubleshooting. There is a troubleshooting item here for Olama, which, again, I was not successful yesterday, so I gave up on it. I'll go back to it next week just to see how it looks. There's also cache data in case you need to clean things up, just like any good system. By the way, I had to delete my Maven, my local Maven cache. Let's say I freed up hundreds of gigabytes yesterday. I think that's pretty much it. It's not real deep. This was just announced yesterday, I believe, the 28th. Oh no, this week. And again from Block. They've talked about it before too, but again, I think now's the time to start looking at it. But I'm sort of with you, not having a UI, not having it directly in the IDE that I'm using today, because I'm not using JetBrains today. In fact, I don't even have JetBrains installed on here.
So, when development is concerned, I think I have two requirements. Not necessarily that I need both. In the UI, in the IDE, right? So I need to be part of the tool that I'm using, or in a terminal. But here's the thing that I want in a terminal. I wanted to be aware of what was happening. Meaning that I do this and that, and then I should be able to ask it, okay, but what was the problem with that one? Like, find this information from the output, or things like that, right?
Yeah.
Definitely not copying and pasting stuff.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying that Goose is not doing, just to be clear. I haven't tried it yet.
And again, it's not even publicly 3 days old yet.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's nice. It's cool.
Anyway, that's again, links down, but it's block.github.com or github.io/goose.
Very cool. It's my weekend hobby now.
I'm so sorry.
Task.
I apologize to your daughter and wife right now, just because that's...
My daughter is 14. She's less and less interested in me.
I know, but that's it. I was trying to think, was there one more thing I wanted to show here? I think... Watch this animation. It'll tell you things about, like, what can Goose do. Oh, I am curious. So I'm going to go back for a second. So I want to see what happens here with this. Take a screenshot and summarize. Because I have two monitors set up. So how does it know which one to... Oh, this is interesting.
I need to give it permissions.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm glad it did that. All right. It's on another screen, so you don't see that. And, we have to restart it, which makes sense. And it restarts itself. I'll bring it back over here. There we go. So take a screenshot to summarize. Oh, so it's doing all my monitors because I have StreamYard on the other monitor. Okay, so this is interesting. Displays a live StreamYard studio session titled that. That's true. 2 main speakers are visible along with a layout showing additional participants. Live chat, yeah, which is true. I see live chat on the admin. Screen content, there's a visible output. Stream's been live for 57. That's correct. Holy cow. Basic stream management buttons are displayed at the bottom. Okay. But that's scary.
That's my gripe with AI in the current state in general, right? Nothing to do with Goose.
Yeah.
So how was that helpful?
Yeah.
You have your eyes.
Yep. So now, how is this information helpful to me?
You want to? Okay. You're going to make it sad, man.
Okay. Several ways. Understanding the setup, engagement strategies, technical insights, content ideas, real-time integration. Okay.
Who on that picture is better in that stream is better looking?
Oh, is that okay? Better looking. the guy on the bottom or the guy. Let's not even do that. So the person on the bottom, because I'm going to keep it generic, or the person on the top, or neither.
The correct answer is neither. If it says anything else,
Individual. Okay.
okay, that's fair enough.
So take a screenshot of the other monitor. You picked the wrong monitor to screenshot. Okay. Sure enough. Here's the screenshot. Text cut off. Okay. Whatever. AI interaction Goose. So it can.
Very cool.
All right. Well, that was a waste of about 30 minutes, but it wasn't a waste. I mean, you did see that it did sort of what you were wanting to do, right?
Yeah, that's
Not exactly, but it was in that family.
I might be wrong, right? But so far, coding is the only use case that really grew on me. Kind of take a look at that similar. I think that what was it? Gemini, when they were presented, they had a similar demo. Take a look at this picture and tell me what's in it.
Yeah.
It's very impressive. I just don't need it because I see with my own eyes what's on it.
Right.
It didn't save me any time, right?
So let me change something here,
Mm-hmm.
because we're going long, but I'm curious now that we've gone down this path. So I have, okay. It took me to a different, okay, so it created a new session once I changed the directory, which is fine. So now what I'm going to say is, so this is a Jenkins plugin source directory. Tell me about the code that is in this directory. Oops, I'm not sharing. Sorry. Let me get back to that. So directory, subdirectory, get, blah, 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 blah. Let's go, okay, get newer, get pod, environment, Jenkins file. How can I optimize the code that is in this project? What code optimizations? What code optimizations can I apply to the code that is in this project? Okay, that ought to be interesting. For specific, I could analyze particular files that could be improved. Yeah, so imageries are plugin implement. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. This is interesting. Status. Yeah. How to optimize status image. Was that it? It's hard for me because I'm having to do, because I've got it zoomed in so much. This is weird in a good way. Holy
you're a Java
cow.
expert. Now you need to say.
Measure text method is called repeatedly. Okay, keep scrolling on me. Improve exception handling. Check for null values early. E-tag computation. Here's a condensed example of how I make initial refactoring. This is just illustrative, not a comprehensive rehaul. So it shows me.
Yeah.
Huh. Yes. Do that work.
Do it. I don't want to know. Do it, make a PR, and then somebody else will tell us whether it's okay or not. Jesse will scream at us. Oh, was it using replacing it with regex or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's using a string replace, whatever tool that they're using for string replace and right. Okay, so there's that. So modifications have been implemented. Here's a summary. Oh, crud. My monitor just went dark. That's not you, though. That's me. So if I was to now open this in VS Code, open this in code. Okay. So if I were to take a look at it, go straight to here, here's the, holy cow. Yeah, that would take a while to go through, but, oh, it didn't do it. Okay, so we went too far because it just did that one method, but it wiped everything else out. Okay, not what I want, but okay. This is what we want though, right? We want to be able to have these types of conversations with our code.
Yeah.
And it makes the changes that we want. Wow. Okay. So what you're going to look at first? This or KHI?
KHI.
That was the history inspector.
I mean, this looks awesome. Just kind of, if it's not in
Early.
VS Code, I'm not interested. That's
Yeah.
Sorry, folks. Probably nothing against you. I just need it in VS Code, right?
Okay, hang on a second. Here, let's
Or
share.
give me an ID that is better than VS Code. I'm willing to change.
Yep. Let's see here. Unable to install. I'm trying to see if they support for Azure OpenAI. That will make you happy. How to use the JetBrains tool. Blah blah blah. Okay, there's too many. Here, let me search for this. VS Code. Closed.
Oh, you
Okay, that's
you
not
guys don't like VS Code. Now, I mean, now that you're in trouble.
it. Hang on, hang on. Add PyTest, VS Code Workspace, and I don't know. Or I may have misspelled it. You remember Mike?
Yeah?
Mike works here. This is one of Mike's things.
Okay. Nice.
So anyway, maybe we'll get him on once it's a little more stable. Anyway, that's Goose.
Very cool.
Maybe not a complete waste of time, but
No, it's nice. It's. I mean,
it makes you think.
I mean, we probably need to do the engine first and then think about
Yeah.
how to put it into VS Code or whatever people are.
Yeah.
But the end destination must be, again,
An IDE.
two options: VS Code or VS Code. You replace VS Code with something else.
Yep.
I'm willing to change.
Okay. We're back next week, Monday. What do you have? You have your video on Monday, Tuesday,
Yes.
Whitney. Did that go okay this week?
Yeah.
For you choose
Wednesday's
podcast, live stream with you and whoever shows up, and then we're back next Friday.
Yeah, that's the plan.
And I don't know what we're going to do next week, so I'm not going to hold myself. We probably won't go back to StratoShark. Even though it was very interesting, it got, just like anything you do with Wireshark, you got to have full context. And that'd be a lot more boring than what we did today.
It's very freaky.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, thanks everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.